What's this?
Ice chills ran down my spine the moment I set eyes on my snitch of a brother with my dad holding the cute Motorola phone he just got me. And all the blood in my body rushed up to my head as I realized what had just happened. Okay. Let me back up a little bit. So GSS2 was wrapped up, and I had been so excited about these love notes that I had been getting from who we thought was the cutest boy in class. He was so cool. We got stuck on extra cool, but my not so cool little brother was trying to protect me, and I got busted. It was such a long rest of that day. After which, I was so grateful for my father's forgiveness. We broke up. And there went my first relationship. Now, please do not judge an almost 13-year-old, but love seemed practically impossible with anybody else. I mean, who in this big, wide world was ever going to be that cute and that cool? And then I met Tola. I was no longer 13, but I was not yet 18, freshers. That's what they called us. He said hello after our first class, and I felt like I was a little taller than him, but his sense of humor made up for those inches. And boy, he could really dance, and he always smelled so good. Only that he wanted me to say yes first before he would decide what he would do with his existing relationship. Coupled with the fact that he would have me convert to Islam like his mom did to his dad. But I was not too young to know that walking away was a no-brainer. And then days turned into weeks till they became years of me being asked, why are you still single? I became that girl who everyone said was too picky. Matter of fact, my own friend told me that I'd end up with marriage as a prayer point at Redeem Camp after I would have turned 40 and still be single. And all because I was a single 400 level student who still had one more year before graduation. What they didn't know is that with all the pickiness, my pillow has still had to muffle my screams and soak in my tears and be grateful that it didn't need oxygen, else I would have snuffed the life out of it. Because I also became that girl who eventually and repeatedly got premiumly hurt by her good taste in men. You know, the super cool Christian guy who is a church regular, but is also the Hollywood spec, with just the right range of baritone and perfect dentition and the touchy-feely way with words. Only that the touchy-feely in his words were also in his hands. So we had lots of pointless arguments about how far is too far, and it took too many episodes of false remorse to realize that I'm struggling was way different than how much can we get away with and still be saved? Because you see, while godly should in fact be churchy, churchy doesn't always mean godly. My Mr. Too Good to Be True proved to me yet again that only grace worthily wore that title. And even the title Man of God was not even justified when my Mr. Man of God would tear me down with the same scriptures that should be building me up whenever I couldn't get his way. Matthew 7:6. I became the swine that did not appreciate his pearls. And my Mr. I'm getting married literally asked me to be his side chick. Because he couldn't live without me, but he still couldn't marry me unless I was carrying his baby. Because then everyone would see that he had no choice. But I had a choice. To either remain emotionally battered or accept what I found to be the truth. To love again was possible. And that there was indeed someone out there for me who was sent from heaven. But I also had to acknowledge the truth that I did not recognize him. I mean, I thought I did, but who are you? And what do you look like? Of course, my theology taught me to want a good man, but my subconscious answer to that question had always been extrinsic. And for most of us, it's either physique or finance, with the expectation that his godliness would be the icing on the cake, when in fact we've been baking the icing and wondering why it keeps breaking. And so when I finally got broken and acknowledged the defect in my vision, my lenses came in contact with the word. I'd love, choices, and other beautiful words, 2018. And believe it or not, my eyes did not just become the most beautiful color. They began to correctly see. Now see what the Lord has done. One marriage. One baby, and maybe 2 to go. Of all the boys I've ever loved, a meeting like this taught me how to recognize the one. And if you're still single, now it's your turn.